Cloudspire has been my most played game, and I really wish someone covered the expansions for the game. And I thought, why not give my opinions on each expansion myself? It's not a complete breakdown or unboxing, but my overall experience with the Portal Seeker expansion, what my thoughts would be if I had to rebuy the expansions all over again. This expansion is in a weird spot because it is probably the least fully used expansion when I play with others. But in our game group, we always play with this expansion completely. To explain the scoring system I use for expansions, give my biased answer. When scoring expansions use a 1 to 3 scale, the scaling for me is based on this idea. If it's a 3, get it because it adds a lot of value to the base game. If it is a 2, it doesn't add too much, but if purchased, it's not a bad purchase. Or 1, it's not worth getting at all because of bad design, a complete lack of good content, or just very expensive value for what you're getting. From my experience, this expansion is a 3, but only if you utilize it completely, and many players from my experience don't. This expansion adds a small island that only heroes can access through gate ports in a standard PvP game. Once heroes teleport over, there's anomaly landmarks that they can explore and reveal. A total of 10 landmarks, 7 anomalies which are specific to the small island only, 2 isles, 3 earthscapes, 20 event and relic cards, that's 10 of each, and 10 market chips. Yes, it's a lot of content, but only if you utilize the small island. If you're not using the small island, then you are removing 20% of the content from being used. You can take the market chips, the relic cards, event cards, the 2 islands, and the 3 landmarks to use in any game mode without the small island. But if you're playing solo co-op, you'd be removing event decks and half of the relic cards on top of the anomaly landmark. That is unless you purchase another expansion and of course plunder the bonus scenarios. That does take advantage of that content. What I'm saying is that this expansion during different game modes doesn't get fully utilized by the majority of players that I have played with. When it comes to playing it in PvP, many players will remove all event cards, and I have still to meet a player who wants to play with the small island. All players admit the small island is not their go-to. They don't play with it as a standard option. I'll have to ask them, hey, can we play with the island? I get why, but at the same time think they are missing out on such a great addition. It causes heroes to play multiple roles by not only island control on the main side, but also having to deal with the other factions swapping over to the small island and gaining advantages. This is why the score might change depending on what you use it for. If I was playing PvP without the island, I would give it a 2. If playing co-op or solo, I would give it a 2 as well, but we always play with everything here. I had 4 categories that you might fall under to help you make a better decision with this expansion. 1. If you play this game 5 times a year, I would pass on this expansion. 2. If you get this game on the table 10 times a year, specifically playing PvP, I would say pick it up. At that count, you will enjoy many parts of this expansion, but please use the small island. 3. If you're new to Cloudspire, or you have the base game, but you don't really play it more than 5 times a year and are on a tight budget, but want more Cloudspire content, I would pass on this for a faction expansion first. Number 4, if you're new to Cloudspire, don't care for money, I would recommend getting this then. Remember, the base game is not cheap, and having over $150 games sitting on a shelf not being played really is not something I enjoy seeing. It doesn't help if you add another $30 expansion on top of that. Base game is for people who want to invest their time into one game for many playthroughs. It's going to take 10 plus games to really understand all the complexities and how they work together. But if you're like me who plays this game 2 times a month, especially PvP, it is definitely worth getting.